Hey Wade and Brooke, my name's Jack with Apache. I'm going to do the walkthrough here with you. Now, as you're watching this, if you have any questions, always feel free to give me a call. But we're going to start going over this here. Here you have your power tongue jack, up and down, and I was told that you have had campers before, so a lot of this should be pretty easy for you. But that'll level you front to back. We have your 2 propane tanks, 20 pounds in each, and we did fill them up. We did a leak pressure test for you to make sure there's no propane leak throughout the camper. Here you have your auto regulator. What this will do, it'll automatically switch over if you lose pressure in one tank, to where, let's say, late at night, it's a little chillier out, you have your furnace running, you open this tank up, it's going throughout the night, and then it empties out on you, it'll automatically switch over to this tank, as long as you have both tanks opened up. You got your 12-volt deep cycle marine battery. And this is a maintenance-free battery, so you don't have to pop the tabs off. You have a resettable breaker there, and that'll be for your power tongue jack. As you know, on your previous campers, we typically recommend taking the battery out during the winter time. You can leave it stored in your garage. You got storage in here, and there's a light over there in that corner. Here's your 2 sources for water. You have your city water connection. So when you're at the campsite, this is what you'll typically be hooked up to. You can hook a pressure regulator up to here and have pressurized water coming in from your campsite. Now, if you're going somewhere where you don't have water hookup, you have your freshwater connection right here. So that'll actually fill into your freshwater tank. And it'll start spitting out of there once you're full. That right there, that blue line sticking down, that's going to be your freshwater drain. So you just twist that cap off, and that'll drain your freshwater tank. Coming around to the side, we have your slide out. It is a cable-driven slide-out system. From what I've been told, there's really no maintenance to do on these slide-outs as far as the cable system goes. If it ever starts to kind of, get wobbly on you or not coming in and out as tight, let us know and we can adjust those cables, but that's more something that we would do here in house. As far as what you can do to keep your slide running smoothly, you have the top of your slide out. That needs to get swept off before you're running in and out so you don't get sticks, debris, acorns and things like that coming into your slide out and tearing up your seals. As far as the seals on the side goes, you have these wiper seals to where that wipes the side of the slide off if it's raining. I like to spray these with the clear silicone spray. The reason I use that is it's a nice clean lubricant and it doesn't collect a lot of dirt and debris. Coming around to the back, you got your standard tires and wheels, electric brakes. Go over your water heater here. This is nice. You have a petcock drain valve there instead of the plastic plug, so that makes it a little bit easier for you to drain your water heater. You got your board there, so you got gas and electric on the water heater, and you got your pressure release valve right there. The most important thing to remember about these is make sure your water heater is full of water before you go to run it on electric. And if you run it on electric without the tank being filled, what you'll do is burn up your heating element. But we have tested this for you. Everything's working good on electric and gas, and I can feel it's hot. Your outside shower. See their gray and black tank? Here's your pull handle. So you got your gray pull handle and your black pull handle. Previously, as you know, we always like to dump the black tank first, followed by the gray tank. It helps flush out your sewer lines and your hose and that. And an important thing is to also have at least a third of your black tank full of water and chemical. That'll help break down all the waste, the toilet paper. Keep your gate valves and all that, your pull valves all lubricated inside. Coming around, looks like we got an outside grill. That'll hook up on this back corner here. and you'll have a gas line right there. So you have a quick connect gas line that grill will hook up to. Let's see. This is where you'll have the input for coax. Let's say if you wanted to have a portable satellite, or if you're at a campsite that has cable hookup, you can hook up right to here, and that'll feed the rest of your camper. Scissor jack, you have 4 scissor jacks on here, 1 on each corner. Now these are meant to just stabilize you. As far as leveling goes, you'll use your front tongue jack to level you from front to back, and then you use your tires actually to level you from side to side. So these, once you get, pretty nice and level, you crank these down. You can either use the crank handle that's supplied with the camper, or you see that end right there, that's just a 3/4 inch socket that'll run that up and down. If you want to put that on the end of a cordless drill or something, you can run those up and down pretty easy. I recommend just 1 or 2 turns once you hit the ground to get it a little bit tighter to give you some stability, but you don't have to overdo it. You got your 30 amp power cord. As far as the roof goes, just getting up there, I like to say at the end of every season, if it's putting it away for the winter time, you want to get up there and check the seals. That way it's not building up with snow up top there, and you got some caulking that's drying out and cracked up that can lead to water leaks. At the end of I say at the end of every camping season, and it is a good idea to keep a tube of Dicor with you. That's the sealant that we use. It's a self-leveling lap sealant. If you keep a tube with that on you, it's always good just to, in case you're pulling into a campsite, you hit a low branch and you get a tear in your roof, or, whatever other precaution measures, is a good idea to have it. This crank handle here is going to be for your power tongue jack up there. If that fails, you have a manual crank. You just pop that rubber sleeve off there. You got outside speaker and outside speaker, and that'll be turned on from the radio inside. Here's your black tank flush. So you hook a hose up to here, and it'll flush out your toilet tank. As you notice, it says caution here, and what they're saying on that tag is to make sure you have your black toilet valve open. Because what happens if you fill that hose, if you connect the hose in here and you leave that toilet valve closed, pressure and water will build up in the tank, and it won't have anywhere to go, and it'll actually come out the top of the stack, which leads up to the roof because it's a vented black tank, and it'll also try to come out the top of your toilet. So you do not want that mess. So I definitely recommend leaving your gate valve open when you're flushing this toilet out. Got receptacles. This is the back of your refrigerator. Really, there's not a whole lot for you to do back here besides us and service. One of the main things you can do, though, just keep it clean. You don't want a lot of debris in that building up in here. And when you pop this back on, you just want to give it a good pull and make sure it's on there. That's the exhaust for your furnace. I recommend putting a mud dauber screen on there to prevent those mud dauber bees from getting in there and building nests. But once they do, you got to pull your furnace, and it's a couple hours of labor just to do that. So, and they are attracted to the smell of propane, it seems like. So it's a good idea to get some bug screens for that. And if you notice it says hot, this does get hot to the touch. So if you got younger kids or someone around and that furnace is running, be careful. It won't burn them too bad, but it'll get them pretty good. I think that's about it for the outside. I'm gonna shut this off. We'll go inside, and then I'll send you another video of the inside. Okay, we're back. Before we go inside, I want to show you one other thing real quick. For your awning, you can adjust the pitch to where, let's say if it's raining and you want to have this side a little bit lower, that way not all the water collects on the awning. All you do is pull down on this joint right here. That'll allow you to pitch. You can do both sides to where the sun's coming down a little bit more. If you wanted to lower your awning, you pull both sides down just like that, and that'll adjust the pitch. Now, when you go to run it back in, it's a good idea just to straighten this. And that's all you have to do for that. And then the button for the slide, or for the awnings, right here on the inside. All you got to do is run it all the way in. Once it hits the sidewall, you can pretty much let it go. There's no straps or anything you have to use to lock it into place. It just locks itself. Okay. Here's your monitor panel. So this will kind of tell you everything here as far as where your battery level's at, which right now we are plugged into shore power, so it's going to show that it's full because you're actually charging your battery. Anytime you're plugged into the vehicle, it's going to charge your battery, or you're plugged into your power cord, your battery is going to be charging. You got your fresh tank, so it is 2/3 full of fresh water. After this video, I'll empty that. That way it'll start draining on your way home. You got your black tank, shows empty. Your gray, and gray is empty. Here you got your water heater buttons. You got LP gas and LP electric. All you got to do, before you go to running on gas, it's a good idea to go to the stovetop and burn the stovetop, because what that does, it gets the air out of the gas lines. So all you got to do, make sure your tanks are open up front. Twist that. You got your sparker there. You can do the same here. Go to light. We'll get the third one, light. What that does, it gets all the air out of the gas lines, and it helps draw the propane from the front of your camper back to your appliances. So if you're going to light your refrigerator, your water heater, you know, your furnace, I always recommend doing that first. You got your water pump on here. To where your water pump is if you if you have water in your freshwater tank and your portable tank, you kick that water pump on and it'll start to pump water throughout to all your faucets. Got your awning button, your slide in and out, porch light, interior ceiling lights. You can also turn the lights off individually if you'd like on the light itself. Got your fire extinguisher, smoke detector. You got a ceiling light and your vent there. Storage under the bed. When you're traveling, you want to make sure that these are latched there for both sides of your door. Little laundry chute. Your water pump's inside here. You got 4 screws, one in each corner. That's access to your water pump. The only real reason you may get into there is when it's time to winterize. There's a hose in here that you can connect to, and that'll help pump antifreeze throughout to the rest of your unit. Typically, when it's time to winterize, we recommend either bringing it to us or give us a call. My name's Jack, and I'd be happy to kind of talk you through that process over the phone. And there are a lot of good videos on YouTube actually on how to winterize these campers. You got your Dometic thermostat. There's your power button. So your power and your mode button are pretty much going to do most things here for you. Right now it says on the bottom off. You press it one time, we're going to go to fan mode. You press it again, it's going to go to auto. And that auto is actually the fan speed. You want to leave it on auto. That way the fan automatically shuts on and off with your air conditioner. You know, if we press mode again, it's going to go to your furnace. Press it one more time, it's going to be off. Up and down there, that's going to be your temperature gauge. And this thermostat's going to work just like your house would, to where when once it gets, let's say you're going to set your air conditioner at 65 degrees. It's thermostatically controlled, so once the unit inside gets around 65 degrees, that AC is going to shut off for you. And then if it, goes up a good 3 or 4 degrees, it'll kick back on. The furnace works the same way on that. Your air is all going to come out throughout the ceiling. You have directional vents there for that. For your air conditioner, when you first kick it on, it's a good idea to open up that dump vent. What that's going to do, that's going to allow the air to push out the quickest. And it'll cool your camper down a little faster. And here you have pop those tabs open. You have a filter in there. And that filter just comes out. You can rinse it with the hose, let it dry, and put it back in. And then all your furnace vents are going to be in the floor ducts. To light your oven, you push the oven to pilot. you get yourself an extended lighter, and there's a coupler back there, just like a gas fireplace or an older hot water heater that you manually light. You got the coupler back here. You keep and push that, you hold that in. That'll allow gas to light that coupler up. Once you keep that flame on there for a good 5 or 10 seconds, get that coupler nice and hot, then you can turn this over to the degree you want. It'll burn that whole burner assembly there. Will all light up for you. Microwave, it's pretty self-explanatory. It does work off 110, so you have to be plugged in order to use that. Got a light here, you got an outlet. Coming over here to your refrigerator. Got your on-off button. Right now, that auto is lit up because we're going to be pulling off electric. That means it'll automatically switch over to gas, though, if we lose power. Now, if you wanted to run it on gas, I would just push this button, and that picture kind of portrays the picture that's pushed out, and now we'd be running off of gas. If you're seeing that check, that means it did not light on gas. And then to turn it off, all you gotta do is press that off. And your freezer's nice and cold right now. And so is your refrigerator. A couple things about the refrigerator and the freezer. The freezer does get cold first. So keep that in mind. You do want to give it a good 12 hours to get fully cold. And also you want to be as level as possible. Coming over here, you got your converter box. Shows you all your breakers there, and they're labeled for you. Over here you have your 12-volt fuses for everything inside that runs off at 12 volt, which would be things as your lights, the furnace blower, slide out motors. A lot of that stuff's all on 12 volts. So if it's a good idea to keep a couple extra fuses there, maybe a test light if you're having any kind of electrical issues. Right there you got your wired in propane detector, to where if you got a propane leak, it'll set that off. You got your storage, you got your bathroom. Everything in here is pretty self-explanatory. You got your GFI protected outlet there. You got a light switch. If some of your outlets aren't working, a good place to check is test that, reset that, and you should a lot of times that'll fix the issue. Got an exhaust fan. Again, as far as the toilet goes, it is important to have water and chemical in your toilet tank before you use it. It's a good indication to come over here and make sure that it's at least, right now you're empty. I'd add a good 5 or 6 gallons of water and make sure that reads a third full. And pour a good 3 or 4 ounces of chemical in there. It'll help break down all that waste and toilet paper. And if you don't do that, what happens is you got all your sensors and that in there that read off that. If you don't use toilet chemical, some of that toilet paper will build up on those sensors and it'll give you false readings, and then you won't be able to tell if your tanks are actually full or not. You got receptacles back there. You got lights, receptacles. There's your emergency exit window. I'll show you how this works. All you do is pop this tab up, and that pushes all the way out. You pull this screen off, the screen will pull off, and that window will push up as high as you need to in order to get out the back. As you notice there, though, there's a little latch to where you can just leave it propped open like that if you'd like some airflow in here. You pull it, and it latches back over. It'll be the same operation in your bedroom. As far as making the table down into a bed, you have a latch there and a latch there. We're gonna push the cushions up. We fold this table leg up, and that table will actually rest on these ledges here. You get the table down, you put it into position, and then all you do is you push the cushions over the top, and that'll make a bed for you. Right now we're running off of local air channels because you have your TV antenna. And and you do have a booster button. If you see up there, you have a green light. That needs to be on when you want to run local air channels and run off of your TV antenna. Now, if that's not on, you're not going to get many signals or many channels picked up on the air channels. If you have a satellite, a portable satellite, or you get a roof-mounted satellite, you got to have that off if you want to run that satellite, because that'll mess up the signal. So we'll leave that on there. You got your radio. Trying to think what else. I think that's about it. If you guys have any questions, give us. My name's Jack. You can always call me or get a hold of Tom. We'd both be happy to help you out. We appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.